Hello, everyone, and welcome to TAC Talk, T-A-C Talk, talk about connections. Today's topic is all about the future of event productivity. Let's start with this. Do you remember the first time that you ever went to a trade show? As an attendee, let's not talk about exhibitors yet, but as an attendee, and you walked into the beautiful trade show floor, lights flickering everywhere, signs everywhere. It was a little overwhelming. I remember the first time I was there, and I remember saying, what the heck do I do now? I didn't come fully prepared to, I don't know, see the exhibitors I was supposed to see, learn about the education sessions I was supposed to. Yeah, there was technology beforehand that would have helped me, but I wasn't really told exactly what I was supposed to do. So it was really, really overwhelming. So let's take a step back. I knew mentally that trade shows are really important for our business, right? I needed to grow. And so I needed to go there to learn, to get credits. But I also knew that my business needed to grow. And it's the best way to get leads or suppliers. So if I'm an attendee, I'm going to go and try to look for some suppliers, partners, things like that. And then, of course, the education sessions for my credits, because, it's always about what's in it for me, and I want to grow. So when we talk about the actual event productivity, we need to make sure that we're picturing ourselves back there, that first time that we ever went to a trade show. And of course, now, if you're a trade show veteran like myself, you're probably been to, I don't know, hundreds of events. And so if you've been to 100 events, you think you know what's the best, right? You think you know that you're prepared for the trade show. But if we go back to basics, how many of us are actually, I don't know, being fully prepared and being productive at the trade shows? So what are some of the preparations that we need to make beforehand? I can't tell you how many times, and I'm in sales, that I've forgotten business cards. So you know what I've done so far? I've actually gotten an NFC business card that I use. And now, and just in case I do forget my physical ones, or if I don't want to get scanned at a trade show booth, right? I can use my NFC card and just tap it on someone's phone. And now they have the information. So that's a great way to back up. So business cards, number one, whether you're an attendee or an exhibitor, make sure you're having your business cards. Number two, a pen and a notebook. Or in these days, you could always use your phone, with a notepad in there and type everything. But traditionally speaking, if you want to remember something, a pen and a notebook are always going to be key, especially during the actual conference sessions, right? When you're learning about that. If you want to actually remember it, write it down with a pen. If you're like me and can't read what you're writing because your handwriting is that bad, well, just go ahead and type it into your phone. Empty space. That might sound weird, right? But when we go to a trade show, what is it that we always come back with? Tons of tchotchkes, right? We come back with tons of information, pamphlets, booklets, lanyards, or whatever promotional items that are out there. Now, the thing to remember for this is we live in a digital world now, so those booklets and pamphlets might actually be digital, but people are still handing them out, even in the post-COVID era. Right? So not everything's going to be digital. So you want to make sure that you have just enough space to bring back those little promotional items that you have in there. The last part is comfortable shoes. How many times have we forgotten to wear comfortable shoes? In fact, right, this past week, we were all exhibiting at a show right here in New Jersey. And what happened? One of our people forgot to wear comfortable shoes, and they were complaining that their feet hurt. Their calves hurt, their back hurt. Comfortable shoes is an extremely important thing to remember when preparing for a show. Even getting in those nice little cushion consoles so that you can actually use them while walking around. So, things to keep in mind throughout the day. Remember, a trade show is limited to certain hours. So you do need to actually come prepared to figure out what you want to do. So there's preparation before the event that you do need to do. Right? So what is that? The exhibitors you want to see, the sessions that you want to learn from and take, or, oh no, you have two sessions, and they're at the same time that you really want to go to. Well, you're going to have to pick one. And so coming prepared beforehand, you might know that that other session that you want to see that's at the same time is actually going to be on day 2 at a different time. Boom, you came prepared. Now you know exactly what you need to do. So when we come prepared for it, we have to keep those things in mind, that the trade show is a finite amount of time. And that is very important when we're talking to exhibitors and going around the show floor as well. Exhibitors' jobs there are to gain as many leads as possible, to have great conversations, but also not make the people waiting outside their booth wait too long. This is important to remember as an attendee, in that you need to interact, engage, and then also exit from that conversation as long as your questions have all been answered. So don't think of this as like a completely speed dating throughout the trade show floor. Think of this as your fact-finding mission, that you're gaining the initial information that you want out of the show, out of the exhibitors, and then moving on to the next one. And this is twofold, right? It's not only about the exhibitor, but it's about you. Having that finite amount of time, it's important to understand you're not going to be able to see every single exhibitor. So going in ahead of time and knowing exactly the exhibitors that you should be seeing is extremely important. And that's where solutions like CSS, conference scheduling solutions, come into play, where they have the AI matchmaking that's going to make recommendations and allow you to say, this exhibitor has exactly what I'm looking for. Let me go ahead and schedule some time with them. And now you've scheduled time with everybody. So what does this actually mean? Right? You go in, you have software, or the organizers have a software for you. You take a look, you filter everything out, and now you're set. You've come prepared. You're going to be super productive. Why? Because you know exactly who you need to see, right? You know the sessions you're going to attend and learn from. You've brought your business cards. You brought comfortable shoes, a pen and a notebook, and of course, empty space in your luggage to make sure you're having all of that information and promotional items in your bag. So if I were to wrap this all up, it's really about making sure that as an attendee, as an exhibitor, you're coming prepared for the show. Now, more important, when safety, is of concern for everybody, we need to make sure that we're spending our time wisely. Now, more important than ever, with lean organizations out there, we need to make sure that we're being as efficient and effective as possible, spending our time wisely, being the most productive we can be at trade shows. This is the new era of trade shows, and event productivity is going to be a huge focus. So the more productive you can be at the event, the more you can learn, the more people that you can see, the more knowledge you can gain that's going to help you come back to your business, not only to grow your business, but to grow yourself, the better you are going to be. And so your safety, your time, and your money are precious. I've always said that time is the most valuable commodity that's out there. There's a finite amount of time, and especially at trade shows, there's very little time for you to make sure that you're gaining everything that you need to. So I look forward to seeing you at the next trade show and being as productive as you can be. That's all for today's Tech Talk. I'll see you next time.